This is Hannibal here with none other than the Hannibal TV mascot, Piper, who's sleeping beside me. Just finished a nice Easter dinner with me, and I'm going to give you an Easter daily news update. So happy Easter to everybody. Let me jump right into it. Last Easter, by the way, I fought Rodney Mack at a rodeo in Belton, Texas, for SWE Fury, and we fought all over the rodeo arena. And I actually rode a bull earlier in the night, so I will put that video in the description when I'm done with this. But that's worth looking up. It was a hard-hitting match. Smackdown did a 0.4 rating Friday night. Mick Foley, as I mentioned in my Wrestling Observer review, visited Terry Funk in Amarillo, Texas earlier this week. There's a picture from it that Foley posted on his Twitter account for the people that are wondering how Terry Funk is doing. Jacques Rougeau is out of the hospital as I opened too many tabs. There we are. Jacques Rougeau is out of the hospital, and he appeared at a Quebec wrestling event last night, so that's good to hear. He was in the hospital related to a kidney stone and other health issues, so glad he's out. SmackDown had a dark match where Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins in a WrestleMania rematch. Ring of Honor's world champion Jonathan Gresham signed with AEW. No idea who that is. Hopefully, AEW is basically just making Ring of Honor a part of the AEW show, so it's just really adding more titles to AEW's title scene, because we saw Samoa Joe won a Ring of Honor title, the Ring of Honor Television Championship on Dynamite last week. So it appears that for the meantime anyways, it's just more titles in AEW rather than a truly separate brand at this point in time. I am going to do a review after this of a vampire movie that one of you guys recommended to me yesterday called Let the Right One In. And I have to say, I love that movie, but I'll do a better review of it next. And the reason why I've been watching some vampire movies lately is to prepare for my Blood Hunter Thirst and Rage vampire movie going into production this summer that I'm really excited about. Hello, Jay-Z. What's up? I'm full. I'm gonna do some DDPY yoga once a little bit later. If anyone hasn't seen it, DDP and Jake Roberts were on the Talking Tough podcast this past Wednesday on this channel with Rick Bassman, Butterbean, and Boss Rutan. And I had taken about a month off from DDPY, and I did feel the difference from stopping. Definitely my back wasn't as loose as it could be, and my knees were a bit tight. So I've been back doing DDPY every day since Wednesday. I started with the 20-minute programs. Last night I did a 30-minute. Mop Shop says, good evening, Puff Puff. I'm actually so dedicated to training for my Blood Hunter movie. I haven't drank at all this week, and I still have a little bit of THC drops left, but when those are done, I'm not going to buy any more THC products. If someone gives them to me, that's a different story, but I'm just going to 100% focus on training and get into the best shape possible for this. I don't need any extra calories. And THC, I would say the main negative side effect from weed is it can make you hungry. So I'm better off not smoking weed. Mike D, get well soon, Virgil. If that is true, I wish him well either way. As I said in my report yesterday, some other people actually run his Twitter, and all of the interviews I've seen of Virgil, he lies a lot. So is it all dementia or is he a liar? I really don't know. I don't know if I fully trust him. I mean, Abdullah recently put out a GoFundMe too with a lot of lies. So I don't know if I trust many wrestlers. I'd have to see some doctor reports. Someone says he thinks Cody will get jumped by the bloodline and Seth will save him. We'll see. Hello, Kurt. Where will my movie film, Frank? Allentown, Pennsylvania, where the Jimmy Snuka thing happened with the lady passing that used to be his girlfriend, and WWE used to do their TV tapings there. Cody, why are you restricted? You're not restricted. And by the way, Cody's watching on Facebook. If anyone doesn't follow us on Facebook, all of our streams are ad-free on Facebook, facebook.com/The Hannibal TV. I highly suggest you subscribe to like our Facebook page. We have over 66,000 likes on there now. And it's a lot of our views. For instance, the Johnny Fairplay video talking about the Joe Rogan Fear Factor fight that he pretty much instigated accidentally. That only has about 2,000 views on YouTube, but it has 70,000 views on Facebook right now. So some of our videos are getting way more hits on Facebook. Actually, my news updates are getting better hits on Facebook than YouTube as well, for whatever reason. So I'm going to keep that growing. Someone says they've been wanting to get a head start on taking care of their body. I recommend, as I've said before, in the past, many years ago, because ever since I've actually gotten to know DDP, my opinion of him has changed. I didn't think he was sincere originally, and he is a great salesman, but before I actually started doing the program and actually met him and I've interviewed him, I've got to know him and I've talked to a lot of people that know him. He does really want to help people, and his program does help. It is a good program. So yeah, I would recommend it to people, and I appreciate that he gave me the app. He actually gave me the app for free to do, so I really appreciate that. Rob Jones says he loves my show. Well, thank you to all of you for the wonderful support that you give me. I really appreciate it. Tom does not believe Virgil. Jay-Z, the Fright Night 2 review, I did see Fright Night 2. I really enjoyed Fright Night 1. I don't know if I'll do a review of Fright Night 2, Jay-Z, to be perfectly honest with you. Because I'm an 80s movie fan, and I think Fright Night 2 was 88, I believe. I liked it for the 80s movies feel to it, but it does not come close to being as good as Fright Night 1. I would not recommend it. And even this movie, well, I'll talk about it in the review. Ken has been to Allentown. The Marty Jannetty interview that I did, that is one of my most popular interviews, was done in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Al, what do I think of AEW and New Japan joining forces? Well, New Japan is less popular than it's ever been. I've been looking at their attendance figures. They're not good. I kick their ass on YouTube every month. Like, I literally kick their ass. They don't even get anywhere near the views that the Hannibal TV gets. And they're a massive company. I'm a person that lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I know Tony Khan is a big New Japan Pro Wrestling mark, so that's only going to help New Japan. Will it attract mainstream people? Do mainstream people, uh, like your average person on the street, care about New Japan Pro Wrestling? I don't think so. I sh- I sure as hell don't, and I'm a wrestling fan. It's boring. Mike tips $2. He wants a Jerry Saggs interview when I'm in Pennsylvania. I didn't like Jerry Saggs when I met him. Ralph checking in from Nevada. Tyler, I haven't, I've maybe seen 50 AEW matches. To tell you my favorite wouldn't be fair because I haven't seen any AEW pay-per-views. Actually, I think I saw the one that they had on the football field. I did see that pay-per-view match, and I saw the Cody versus Dustin match from the first pay-per-view. But the what I've seen of them online doesn't make me want to watch more. I watch highlights and I watch YouTube clips, so I couldn't really tell you a favorite fairly because I haven't seen that many. I saw all the squash matches that Ryan Moonshine Mantell did. I saw the match where they had Lufisto job on AEW Dark last week because Lufisto used to wrestle for Great North Wrestling, and I was curious if they were going to do anything with her in AEW, but it looked like just using her as enhancement talent, basically. So my favorite AEW match, I couldn't tell you fairly. The what have I seen that I've enjoyed from AEW? There has been a few things that I've enjoyed. When Jeff Hardy debuted, I liked that, but I couldn't tell you fairly a review of AEW. I've only seen 2 episodes of Dynamite since AEW started. And the reason I sat through the second one is because I was with a girl I liked. I don't know if I would have sat through it if I was on my own. Bo. Oh, yeah, Bo. I was going to bring this up. Thanks for reminding me. FTR is going to have Bret Hart as a manager on an independent show. And Bo, I don't believe it has anything to do with AEW. I believe it's an independent booker that's booked Bret Hart managing them on a show against another team managed by Arn Anderson. I don't think it actually is an AEW match. But I find it interesting because FTR did an interview with John Paz that we posted on this channel this week, and they talked about wanting Bret Hart to be their manager. Let me get my YouTube award in the shot here. But there is one thing, as I actually watched the whole FTR interview because I couldn't understand why it didn't do that great in hits on my channel, because they're considered a popular team and one of the best teams, if not the best team out there right now. And I just realized, like, they looked up to, I have nothing against them, by the way, but they looked up to Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. And when you hear Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson talking, they're talking about the women eating out at the finest restaurants, the parties they go to. In FTR's interview, they're talking about watching Bret Hart matches and studying film in their spare time. There's no stories about girls. There's no stories about partying. They don't look like they're very big. So I'm not saying that they're not great technical wrestlers. I'm not insulting them at all. All the wrestlers, other than some, are pretty much like that these days. But it's just interesting, like the stories and the interviews from the Four Horsemen were so much more interesting than, in our free time we sit around watching Bret Hart matches from the 90s or whatever. I don't know. I just can't identify with that. Keith, it's going great. Thanks for watching. Same thing to you, Dave. When's my next show? September the 3rd, Great North Wrestling at the Petawawa Civic Center. And there probably will be at least one more Great North Wrestling event later this year. Just waiting to get the movie recorded. I don't want to put too much on my plate until the movie's done. But starting September 3rd, there'll be angles there, and we are going to put on regular events after that. There's also an issue right now that you still need to be vaccinated to get into Canada from the United States. And it's still a little bit complicated with forms and stuff you got to fill out to come here from the US. Now, we are going to have Charlie Haas wrestling the Blood Hunter on September 3rd. But I'm just saying, between now and then, I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing anything and focusing on the movie anyways, because I don't want to deal with issues like that. And I hope by September 3rd, they drop this that you need to be vaccinated to get into Canada, because I want to use more American talent on that show. Mike Piper's right beside me. Piper is right beside me. You want to see her? She's on the blanket here. She's resting. Al says the pandemic totally destroyed New Japan. I mean, I was talking about their figures yesterday in the US, and they don't draw that great overall either. Samuel. Yeah, I've already discussed this. Abdullah has almost 5,000 in the GoFundMe, making some claims that he needs money to appeal my case against him, which he's already appealed it once in Canada and once in the US, which he lost both appeals. And the last appeal was in 2016. It's 2022 now. You can't appeal it again. And his wife wants him to get a divorce. They haven't lived together for 10 years. He's claiming that his wife has all of his money, etc. He does live in a house by himself right now, by the way. He's got a full house with his girlfriend that lives with him, Jocelyn Marceau, who used a different name on the Jericho podcast. But if he would actually get a divorce with his wife, he'd be entitled to half. So that would be an easy way of him getting money. He's had numerous lawyers over the years. He got rid of his last lawyer, who was encouraging him to get the divorce so he could get the money. So he could get a lot more than $5,000 if he would just get the divorce. But he's not the brightest. They also had some idiot on there claiming that you could not pass Hep C through razor blades. Great information to spread on your podcast, Jericho. Razor blades and needles are the two main ways you can get Hep C. Kika saw it or something. Oh, no. Keiko saw my match with Rene Dupree from last year. Mike, thank you. I do work hard. Mike is tipping me $2 for showing him Newborn. Mop Shop, yeah, this has gone longer than I thought. Millie hopes I take all the money from Abdullah. You know what I've learned? I've spent almost 150 grand since 2010 when I started my legal situation with Abdullah, which, by the way, he has met with lawyers. He's had lawyers. He's appeared in court. He's flown to Ottawa to attend settlement conferences. What he said on the podcast is he never opened mail and he never knew about any of this. It's just a load of bull crap. He sold he transferred assets once he lost the American case, which is illegal. It's called fraudulent transfer. So he's a complete liar. But to collect, for the person that says collect the $5,000, you actually have to pay money to collect. So you're just throwing good money after bad money because he's going to get rid of that $5,000 before I can even collect it. And it will cost me money to collect it. So it's the whole situation is definitely by far, it was one of the worst things that happened to me in my life, if not the worst. Frank, yeah, I am talking about him. I'll actually be really happy when he dies, to be perfectly honest with you. He's 81 or something now. I just want that fat piece of shit to die. Be really happy. I'm going to come back and do my vampire movie review in about 5 minutes here. So thanks for all your questions, and thanks, Mike, for the tip.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos.